Welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the test session for the new package for Season 8. With me today we have the driver of the number 1 McDonald's Chevrolet Camaro, Jack Mitchell. In the booth with me. Bring some more driver insight into the booth. See what he thinks about the new package and how different it is from the old one. We'll see a lot of different grooves being run, different speeds with this new package. They're just kind of trying to see what is going on here, see how they like it. So Jack, out from that last test session, I believe it was last week at Texas, what were your thoughts on the package?
It was a good package because it let me do more things with the car that I didn't really think I could do. Like, I was able to more easily make moves to like the top or the bottom if I felt like I needed to adjust my line that I was running. I felt like I could do it a lot simpler and smoother. It was a little bit slower than I'm used to, but it's still really effective for when you want to move high or move low. You can do it a lot smoother now.
Yeah, you took note of that. The cars are a lot slower on the mile and a halfs and some other track types. The horsepower has been lowered to 550 instead of the normal 750 we usually have. So the car's going to be going a lot slower, which will give us more of that pack racing feel, but also a little bit more spread out. They're not going to be very clumped up into a pack, but they're also not going to be really spread apart. So it's kind of, we just have to find that balance.
Exactly. It's going to be kind of like a blend between pack racing and without racing. Kind of at the races next season.
So we're going to see some cars come out here. We got 9 drivers that have been entered to test here tonight. Some drivers from Toyota, Ford, and Chevy have all come together to test out their respectable models of cars. All the cars are going to act different. They all have different aerodynamics. Their bodies are different, but the spoilers are all the same. They have those giant spoilers on here, so that's going to definitely affect the aerodynamics of these cars. But we'll get you into the action here soon. Let's get a commercial break, and then we'll be back with the cars on the track.
America, it's time for a gut check. If the founding fathers saw us huddled in our little cocoons, texting each other smiley faces, they'd hang their powdered wigs in shame. When our idea of danger is eating gluten, there's trouble afoot. Yes, we the people have gotten soft, and all the likes in the world aren't gonna save us now. But one thing will. Welcome to the place where we speed all day, where we bump and grind in a non-sexual way, where scores are settled and we break the rules, and everybody's got a set of badass tools. Get some NASCAR in your life. Hello, glory, goodbye, strife. Welcome to the place that we call home, where meats are grilled and you can bring your own, where everyone's welcome and we all belong, even my friend in his American flag thong. Get some NASCAR in your life. Hug your kids and kiss your wife. You want Billy and Sally to learn about math and science? Send them to the school of NASCAR. They'll thank you for it. Sure, everybody in NASCAR gets a trophy as long as they win the race. Did you know that less than 10 miles from Sonoma Raceway you can go wine tasting? True story. Welcome to the place where your beast is free, like the rubber hooves of a tire stampede, where men and women compete together, just like they did back in the 18-nevers. 200 miles per freaking hour, 700 freaking horse freaking power.
Neck and neck, they're battling down this last stretch, and off from it takes Harvick from the checkered flag.
There's Harvick, Logano, and Hamlin and Newman. Keselowski, Dale Jr., they're all superhuman. Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth, the Bushes, and maybe Jimmy Johnson will come back and kick some tuchus. Hello, glory. Goodbye, strife. You've got NASCAR.
NASCAR makes its triumphant return to NBC Sports on July 4th weekend.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. We are ready to get some cars on track. Some cars have already pulled out onto the track. See a couple cars sitting at pit road. They're getting ready to go out for some laps. We have a 20-minute session here to see who can get the fastest. There's no really anything on the line here. They just want to test their cars out, see what they're feeling. They're going to provide some feedback back to their teams, back to the officials and their crew chiefs, just to tell them how their car is feeling and make some adjustments as the these different test sessions go on before the season starts next season. We are in the middle of season 7 as well, so these guys aren't. They have more to do than just test. They're still racing for a championship in this season. Guys like Chris Lilly, our points leader, is here today. He will be out testing some Toyota drivers, as you see, like there, Connor Hudson coming out. He has actually won this race at Atlanta for the last 2 years, so he definitely knows this track, but nobody knows this package yet, so they're still trying to get used to it. Let's go to some cars that are on track now. Jackson Steiner's on the track. The first lap was put down by Connor DaCosta in that 94 car, a 37.29.
It's actually pretty good that Connor DaCosta was one of the guys coming in, because just finding his speed lately. Even though this season has pretty much been, he's been running very well, only to find himself caught up in a wreck. He was able to get a win and then followed up with a P2. So he did wreck last race, but he's still, I think, finding his stride. He's definitely one of the faster drivers when he's able to keep his car clean.
And he has ran a faster lap there, now a 36.05. But these laps are going to get faster as these guys get more used to this track and aerodynamic package. See those big spoilers. The cars are lower to the ground. They have aero ducts this time. They're little ducts, little vents on the front bumper. Allow more aero to travel through the car. Help stabilize the car a little bit. DaCosta's still top of the board. Connor Hudson put his first lap down at 30.734. It's the slowest of the three. Preston Cope is now on the track. You see the number has changed on there, 24. He is not running the 24 this season, but next season he'll be running the 24, so they just decided to throw it on that test car that they're running.
I remember when he told me he wanted to run the 24 again, and I was I think it's great to see him running that number again, turning laps in it. Even though he's not running it this, still good to see him doing that. He's having an okay season so far. Had a couple good runs, come a little close to some wins, but I think he can keep it up as long as he remains consistent.
He has not gotten a win this season, like we noted, but he's one of the best drivers out there.
Season 3 champion.
Yeah, him and his brother have taken, I believe, 3 out of the last 5 championships. So that Cope family they're very fast. The younger one seems to do better.
Preston won in season 3, the year after his brother Colin won in season 4. And then Colin became the first guy to win multiple championships, so he won it again last season. This season, one of those drivers, Chris Lilly right there, he's been one of the dominant guys. I think he actually just got into the wall there.
He scraped the wall again. It's the first time these guys are side by side with this package. At Texas, you saw them side by side a little bit, but they're trying to test how they can race around other drivers, and it looks like Lilly's getting too close to the wall there. He's right next to Caleb Nelson there in the 3 car for Omega Motorsports. That Chevrolet Camaro. The 36 of Jared Bokanowski has the fastest lap so far with a 29.914. He's running in a pack with the 49 of Connor Hudson. Here's the 47 of Noel Rivera. Actually won the latest race in the GoPro Cup Series at the Denver Oval. So he's coming off a great foot, looking to have a good session here.
Won the pole of the 500 too this past season, so.
Side-by-side racing. 49 to the inside of the 36. He'll make the pass on him. Looks like the outside lane so far is not the fastest here. You get to the inside, you're probably going to make the pass on him.
Like I mentioned, though, these guys should feel a lot better with changing their lanes if they need to. I was a little surprised that the 53 got into the wall, but we haven't really seen these guys go side by side until now, so he might just still be kind of feeling that car out.
And now we have a 3-car pack here, so these guys should probably be going a lot faster than the cars alone, like DaCosta. Because with the slower speeds, pack racing or being with somebody else is definitely going to speed your car up a lot more than just being by yourself.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this.
So different situations like we could see in an actual race next season. We could maybe somebody has like about a 1 or 2 second lead up front in the field, and then maybe 3 or 4 guys get into a little pack, kind of like these guys are. They could definitely catch that leader, even though he's by himself and not battling with anybody. These guys are going to definitely pick up the pace just because of how much slower the cars are going. Having some help is a lot bigger of a factor.
Look at that run the 49 got.
Yeah, you arc that corner down into the inside lane from the top. It really helps your car. entering
Get
the
an
corner.
onboard view. Let's go with the 49. Let's get an onboard view bumper on the front. You can see just how close these cars are to the bottom of the track.
Yeah, these things are really close, and with how bumpy and beaten up this Atlanta surface is, it's hard to keep these cars stable. But like Jack said, slower speeds, the different aerodynamics, it cleans the cars up on the ground more. They're not as wobbly, and you don't really lose the car as much. They're a lot more stable.
He's a guy, too, that definitely knows how to win there. Like you mentioned earlier, he won back-to-back races at this facility, so one of the better choices to run in this test session.
Yeah, 47, I believe.
By that, I mean,
Noah
he was,
Rivera to the outside. He's trying to make a pass on
by
Jared
that, I mean,
Volkanovski.
the 49 was good to it was good to invite him to this test session because he's been running great at this track lately. Volkanovski, also a guy that has shown some bursts of speed this season, even though he's been getting caught up in a lot of wrecks. He's kind of in a situation like DaCosta, only he hasn't wrecked as much. And then, like you said, Noel Rivera, a guy who just won this season.
Here's Preston Cope, currently the slowest car on the track. He actually has, he's 7/10 slower than 8th place driver, so I'm not sure if maybe the car's not up to his feeling, or maybe this, I'm not sure what's wrong with the 24. He's just not really running fast laps at all. So, I mean, a factor is that he's also a lot slower, or he doesn't have any help. The 94 doesn't have any help either, and he's also a lot faster than him, so there may be something wrong. Maybe the car is just not right for him right now.
Yeah, maybe these test cars are never perfect.
Right.
But
You just kind of throw them out there, and then you just work off of them.
exactly, that's exactly what these teams are going to do, and the GoPro officials are going to do as they try to come up with the perfect rules package for next season.
There's Nate Polite and Jackson Steiner. Jackson Steiner is another one of the fastest drivers this season. Still has not capped off a win, but he's been very fast. Nate Polite's also been pretty fast as well. Almost had a win at Denver.
Multiple times. He finished second both times he went there on the oval format and finished
And at the Roval format.
second on both those races. That was an epic battle that we had.
Yeah, with Jack Mitchell, you and Nate. That was how did that feel from inside the car? Just having to rattle his cage after he just bumped you out of the way.
Man, I was going nuts after he hit me out. I was like, "Are you kidding? I believe he did that?" I think he just got into the wall there too.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just thinking to myself, I have to get him back. I have to just go and keep working and get this guy back for what he just did to me, because I wasn't gonna let him do that to get the win off of me. So I just kept fighting, and it worked out. I think I ran him into the high side because he just kind of drove it up the track a little too much, and I got my run. I gave him the bumper back, and it
Gave you
just
the win.
worked out. That track felt really good. It felt a lot like Auto Club, right?
Yeah, it's wide.
It's wide. It gives you a lot of room to correct mistakes.
Yeah. Here's a battle. The 97 trying to pass the 09. We'll see how these cars run side by side through some laps. Outside lane actually is holding up with the 97. Might even have a faster run. See, as these cars come into these drivers and the tires warm up, more rubber's laid down, the outside lane always comes in any track you race at, even at like restrictor plates. Doesn't just happen right away. The outside lane has to work itself in. Here's Connor DaCosta falling into this pack. 24 starting to run faster laps. He does have help up there with the 47, so that probably is helping him that he has some draft. Halfway through this session, the 49 of Connor Hudson, not a surprise, one of the fastest drivers at this track.
Currently
He's
on
in
pit
right now.
road.
Getting some tires, maybe making some adjustments, see what he can work on that with that car. Talk to his crew chief, give some input to him. There's a side-by-side battle with Preston Cope and Noel Rivera. Preston Cope is one of three Camaros here at the session. Noel Rivera is one of two Toyotas, or three Toyotas actually, because you have Connor Hudson and Nate Polite with him. Hudson going back onto the racetrack. Nate Polite coming in to pit road, getting some adjustments, some fresh tires. See if Connor Hudson can put an even faster lap down with these new tires, maybe some adjustments, see if he can get into a pack with somebody.
Everybody's broken past laps that are faster than 31 seconds.
Yeah. Preston Cope is starting to improve, but he has not broken that 29-second mark. Only 3 drivers have not broken that mark yet. You see the right side of that 53 car, it is caved in a little bit, so that could be hurting him aerodynamically. He's gotten the wall a couple times, and the 3 car is going to make a big run on him.
I think,
Is gonna
like you
make the
said,
pass.
hitting the wall did make him a little bit slower, but I'm still,
Yeah.
again, surprised. He wasn't really running too... I think it's just the new car that he's going to have to figure out how to deal with. He is the points leader currently.
Yeah, in the current season. His best career season so far, he only won 1 race other than the ones he's won this season.
Yeah,
That was at Phoenix.
He won all the races or 3 of his races this season, 3 of his last wins, and then he won the second to last race of... So definitely finding his stride this year after going winless in his rookie year.
His brother Brian also, your season 5 champion, I believe. He's been kind of falling. He hasn't really been as dominant as he was in, or at least as consistent as he was in season 5 when he won that championship. But this season has been one of his best seasons. He's been up front most of the races. Actually got his first career win 2 races ago, a couple weeks ago at Daytona.
Yeah, that must have felt pretty good for him to get that monkey off his back.
Yeah, people were saying that he was only able to run consistent just to get a championship, just point his way through, and he would never be able to win a race. But he silenced the critics and won at Daytona, one of the hardest tracks, that the road course variant.
That's pretty hard to win that.
Yeah, that track is a really difficult track. You see a lot of guys going off the track and spinning out, going in the dirt. A lot of guys wrecked from the lead, and he just
It can be
capitalized.
hard to see too when everyone's just driving through when they get loose and go through the dirt and just puts a lot of smoke and dirt in your mirror,
Yeah.
so, or in your mirror and in your windshield, so it can be pretty hard to drive there. So.
And your team, Jack, JM1 Motorsports, they've been pretty consistent this year. Only a couple of your drivers have been really racing and contending for wins. Most of them have been at shorter tracks and intermediates. You've seen, like, you won at Denver, like we talked about earlier. Preston also won the pole at that race you won, so he was also fast there. So, seems like try to bring the whole team together, because Jelani Howell and Brody Kupski are deep in points, and you're trying to, like, bring the team together, maybe bring some information to them to try to improve their performances, maybe.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to get everybody on the. They, like you mentioned, they are pretty deep in the points, and we don't want that for everyone to be the best they can be with the equipment that we give them. So it's definitely just going to be a matter of sharing information and sure that these guys can run as good as they can.
I believe Preston is about midway in the points, so he's doing all right. It's probably one of his slower seasons. I mean, it is his first full-time season back in
Yeah, I
2
think he's
seasons,
still
so he's
getting-
just trying to get back in the groove of things, get his the cars the way he wants it.
Yep.
Just kind of work on it. Bunch of
A lot
cars
of
in
guys
pit road
coming
right
pit
now.
road.
See if I think
It
Connor
should-
Hudson may be done for the day. 36
It
might be
can
done.
just be a fair or a difficult balance of the whole thing when I'm trying to share information with these guys and make sure they're running good, but at the same time, I myself am kind of up there in the points too, and I'm like making a run for a playoff spot, so it's kind of hard to find a good balance.
Yeah.
That's just part of owning a team.
Yeah, just trying to balance it between sharing your information with your other drivers and then trying to fend for yourself at the same time.
Yeah, it's not easy, but It's what makes the job fun.
Let's go on board with Chris Lilly here, who's actually let us put the helmet cam on his car, on his helmet. So you don't have to lift. You can hear the engine. They're not lifting. So with these slower speeds, you can just go full throttle throughout the whole track. Maybe when the tires fall off, maybe have to let off a little bit. But I mean, at tracks like this, you should be able to just mostly never let off, unless there's some trouble in front of you or somebody's checking up. At tracks like this with this slower package.
For the most part, though, you don't really have to lift. We're not really going to be seeing that many more cars on the track. A couple of
Hudson's
guys.
going to come back on, trying to get a little bit more speed out of his car before the session's over. 36 is going to come back out. He is second in the leaderboard right now. And then it's a 3/10 gap back to Noel Rivera, who is also coming back on the racetrack. Hudson might be able to get a faster lap, as he has the draft of Chris Lilly.
I've heard that this pack of the Mustang is a lot different than the one that's being run now. So we'll see what these guys can do. Right now it's a Toyota out front.
With a Ford and then another Toyota, and then a Chevy, and a Toyota, and then you have 2 Fords and then a Chevy rounding out. So it's kind of all spread out. There's no really single manufacturer that's dominating this session, showing like their ultimate speed. So you usually see in the series, most of the drivers and teams are usually able to be even with each other.
Yeah, but then again, there shouldn't really be that much of a judgment So definitely
see the speed between Hudson and Lilly. He pulled out on the track behind him, past him, and he's driving away from him. So that definitely shows the fresh tires. Lilly, I believe, has not pitted the whole session. He's been out there running laps, and maybe he's just measuring the tire fall off and all that different stuff instead of trying to get faster laps. And that's also good, valuable information to bring to your team instead of trying to get fast laps. Just learning about the tire fall off, how the tires respond to the package, and how your car feels, how if it gets loose or tight as the run goes on. So stuff like that's really valuable. That shows the veteran experience of Chris Lilly, just learning about that stuff instead of just trying to go for the fastest lap.
I think that might be what the 24 is doing as well.
Yeah, he's also been out there the whole session. He's maybe going slower, but he's just trying to learn the track and learn the package.
Exactly. It's not entirely about getting the faster laps here. It's just about making sure you know what these cars run like and how they work, and giving your feedback to the officials and your team so that they can build the best car they can.
Minute left in the session. These guys are going to get their last laps in. Still seeing some side-by-side battles. Jackson Steiner trying to work with the 94 of Connor DaCosta. DaCosta actually won that Kansas race because of the 97 actually losing his engine with about 1 or 2 to go under caution. So
it was coming to the white flag, or the checkered flag actually.
And the 97 just lost the engine under caution, and the 94 was in second, and he capitalized and won that race.
That's just how racing is. You got to make it all the way around.
49 is going to come in.
49's done.
He's done.
A lot of these guys are going to start pulling off on the pit road. I think this is about the end of the session.
Probably their last couple laps here. Probably their last 1 lap.
They might extend it a little bit just so guys can get their lap.
Yeah, finish their laps in.
This is effectively the end of the test session.
Yeah, session descent. Yeah, they're gonna give them a 30-second time limit just to get their laps finished and then get into pit road and into the garage. 3 is coming onto pit road. Caleb Nelson. And the officials decided to bring some mix up the field, bring some veterans in here to test the cars, bring some rookies like the 3 car, the 94, the 09. So a lot of guys that don't have a lot of experience to learn from this, and then some veterans that have raced a lot.
And then some guys with like sort of like in between out there, like the 53.
Yeah.
Or the 49. 49's been around a while actually.
These guys are finishing off. 97 and 94 still battling. Still trying to figure out the side forces and what
At the
lane's
same
better.
time, though, I think they're just trying to like calm that back. They should try to calm that battle down because they need to come on the pit road safely.
Yeah, they need to get on pit road soon. Actually, the 49's coming back on the track, so they might be extending
I
this
think they're
session.
gonna stop
And
it
there.
right here. Yep.
So that would be the session. If you guys want to look at the finishing results in the session, a very fast lap for Connor Hudson. And here at Atlanta, we really did not. I wasn't surprised that he was this fast at this track. He's no matter what package you put him in, he's going to be fast at this track. So
This is just his track. He's so good at it.
surprising to see
He just
guys
knows.
like Chris Lilly and Preston Cope so far down. But like we said, mostly probably just testing out the way the cars change over the course of a run instead of trying to get those fast laps. So that will be the end of our coverage of this test session here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Be sure to catch the throwback weekend at Rockingham coming up in the next couple days for Season 7. And there'll be more test sessions as the season goes along at different tracks. These guys want to, the GoPro officials want to get some other guys in here testing different types of tracks, seeing how the cars and the package runs at different tracks. So they just want to figure stuff like that out. It's kind of the purpose of these sessions. So I want to thank you, Jack, for being in here with us, and good luck
Yeah,
at
it's been a pleasure.
Rockingham.
Thank
You
you.
won there last year, so good luck.
I did.
To
I'll
get,
try to defend my title.
Yeah, good,
It was, yeah, it's been a pleasure being here, though. I look forward to being in the back in the booth soon. So, thanks for having me.